Howdy, folks. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, Katie and I get to answer some questions that you have so thoughtfully submitted to our question submission section on our website. We've said this before, but this is probably our favorite type of episode to do. That is hearing some of the things that you're going through in your homes. It gives Katie and I a lot of food for thought. And we just get to honestly have some first-time conversations pretty spontaneously here. I mean, in front of you all. If we say anything crazy or we offend the other person, we usually edit it out. So you actually don't hear the raw, unfiltered. No, I'm joking. You hear pretty much the raw, unfiltered.
I was going to say that is true, but I think the last time we did that was in our last house. So it's been, I don't know.
I think that was actually 2 houses ago.
Yeah, maybe 2 houses ago.
Do you have, maybe you are thinking of one that
No,
I can't
I'm
remember.
not. I'm just thinking it's been a really long time.
It has been a long time since we've, stepped on each other's toes during an episode.
Yeah. Enough to cut it out. You guys know when we do a little bits here and there, but that kind of makes it fun.
Yeah. But before we jump in, we just want to ask you if you're able to leave a rating or a review on iTunes or Spotify or Amazon, really wherever you listen to podcasts. We would love it if you're able to do that, leave a rating or a review. And if you do watch our podcast on YouTube, if you hit the like button or if you subscribe to our channel or leave a comment, that also really helps our podcast grow as well. So with all that being said, we're going to get this thing rolling.
The Now That We're a Family podcast.
All right, so Kate, I'm just going to jump into these questions.
Okay, let's go.
A listener asks, have you ever talked about what you will do if your children want to date someone you are not super fond of or you don't approve of? I know you guys went through a few trials in your dating relationships.
This is a good question.
Yeah.
And it's something that Elisha and I have actually talked about a lot because I think there's a difference between not approving of someone and not being fond of someone. And I think that the two get confused or conflated. And I think that it's important as parents that we decipher between the two. And I think it's way trickier when your emotions are involved than it is to armchair quarterback someone else's relationship or even your own relationship. And so, for instance, I think with our relationship, when my dad and mom sat down and were like, okay, is Elisha going to provide for Katie? Yes. Is he going to lead her spiritually? Yes. Is he going to raise our children in the nurture or grandchildren in the nurture and admonition of the Lord? Yes. Then it didn't really matter if they were fond of him in that moment or not. They did approve of him and they decided to approve. And the crazy thing is like if Elisha had come in from out of nowhere, we laugh about this sometimes in the family. Like if he just like blown in from the Midwest, my dad would have been stoked out of his mind to be meeting Elisha. Sometimes I think when you watch someone grow up, you just think you know someone and you don't. And so I think that's what Elisha had going against him. It wasn't actually Elisha. He was incredible. And so I think that's what I guess I'm hoping to see when it comes to our kids is have this really be clear before our emotions get involved. And I know this is easier said than done, but I'm serious. Like I want to remind ourselves of this. And we've talked about it so much on the podcast and we talk about it with our kids. And so I'm hoping we're prepared. What are the big things that we're looking for in a spouse? Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's not like there's gonna be a lot of girls, Lord willing, coming into our family. And it's not, okay, well, she doesn't dress exactly like we have our daughter dress, or, she doesn't do exactly what we thought she would do or whatever. I want to look for the big things. I don't know what you would say, Elisha.
Yeah, any answer we give is going to be 100% theoretical because our children are nowhere close to the dating age. And so we have talked about it, and I guess that's really what the listener is asking. Like, have you guys considered how this will go down? And yes, we've considered it, and we know it's just speculation at this point. I think our goal is, for me as the father, I really don't want my ego to get involved when it comes to a boy pursuing my daughter. I think that happens a lot in, I would say in more conservative families where the father is playing a role in that dating or courtship process, which I think is great. And I want to play a role in that, in that process. And I really want to have my daughter's heart, and I want the suitor, the one pursuing my daughter, to want to honor her by honoring me. And so I want to keep it in that order. I don't want to think like, okay, I am the one that you are coming to court and to win over. It's like, no, does my daughter like him? Is she interested? Okay, then I really want to have a humble attitude of, one, realizing he's young. So I don't want to,